بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الناصح الأمين اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين ثم أما بعد يا عباد الله الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام والسنة. All praise and thanks belong to Allah for guiding us to Islam and for guiding us to the Sunnah. All praise and thanks belong to Allah for the bounty of Islam and for the bounty of the Sunnah. Allah Azza wa Jal, and continuing, going over the Tafseer of Suratus Sajdah, Allah Azza wa Jal, He continues and He goes on to say, and I want us all to pay very close attention to these ayat and to reflect on our life, to reflect on the temporary nature of the life in this world, to reflect on the ultimate success, and that is to experience the bliss of the hereafter, to earn the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal, and to be entered into the Jannah. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا كَمَنْ كَانَ فَاسِقًا لَا يَسْتَوُونَ. Allah Ta'ala, He says, what means, and is the one who believes. أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا, for the one who believes, is he similar to the one who is a fasiq? أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا كَمَنْ كَانَ فَاسِقًا, is the one who believes, is the believer equal to the criminal, the disbelieving criminal? Allah Azza wa Jalla says, لَا يَسْتَوُونَ, they are not equal, they are not the same. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا كَمَنْ كَانَ فَاسِقًا لَا يَسْتَوُونَ أَمَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ الْمَأْوَى نُزُلًا بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ فَسَقُوا فَمَأْوَاهُمُ النَّارُ كُلَّمَا أَرَادُوا أَن يَخْرُجُوا مِنْهَا أُعِيدُوا فِيهَا وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ ذُوقُوا عَذَابَ النَّارِ الَّذِي كُنْتُمْ بِهِ تُكَذِّبُونَ. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says what translated means, and are they equal? And is the one who believes similar to the one who disbelieves? Is the one who believes similar and equal to the criminal who's a disbeliever? Verily they are not the same. As far as those who believe and work righteous good deeds, then verily for them their abode will be the Jannah. They will have for them gardens as enjoyment because of what they used to do. And as with regards and as relates to those who are criminals, those who are disbelievers, then their abode will be the fire. Every time they try to escape from it, they will be pushed back and repelled to enter into it, so they will be pushed into it. And it will be said unto them, and taste you the punishment of the fire of which you used to belie. Ya ibadallah, this is the reality of the situation. These are the stakes. These are the stakes. أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا, is the one who believes, is the one who believes similar to the one who was a fasiq? Imam Sa'di rahmatullah alayhi, he says, commenting on Allah Ta'ala's statement, أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا, and is the one who believes, قَدْ عَمَّرَ قَلْبُهُ بِالْإِيمَانِ, the one whose heart is alive, built upon faith, built upon faith. Because Allah Azza wa Jalla in these ayat, He shows us and draws our attention that it is not logical that the one who believes will be similar to the one who disbelieves. It is not logical that such two contrary natures will be the same, but rather they are most different. The one who believes, أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا, and are they the same? The one who believes, is he similar to the one who disbelieves? The one who believes, his heart is built upon the iman, faith, وَإِنْقِيَادٍ, and being compliant. Being compliant. What is compliant? Jawarihu. His limbs are compliant to the Sharia of Allah Azza wa Jal. The Sharia. His limbs are compliant to the legislation of Allah Azza wa Jal. Such is the description of who? Of those who believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. وَقْتَضَى إِيمَانُهُ أَثَارُهُ وَمُجِبَاتُهُ. And his iman, it necessitates that it will have signs, it will have those things that are obligatory, that are linked to it, that are obligatory manifestations of his faith. This is evident. When a person believes and he has iman inside of his heart, it will become manifest upon his limbs. It will become manifest upon his tongue. You will hear his faith. You will see his faith. It will have an effect upon his life. These things that are obligatory signs that must be seen, and they are a result of iman, of faith. Min tark Masakhitillah, from leaving off that which angers Allah Azza wa Jal, allati yadurru, that which will harm an individual. That which will harm an individual. Those things that will harm an individual, you will find they stay away from it. You will find those things that will be detrimental to his iman, you will find that he flees from it. Why? Due to his faith in Allah Azza wa Jal, due to his faith in what Allah has revealed, due to his faith in what Allah has sent as messengers, and so on and so forth, due to his faith in the last day, due to his faith in qadar khayrihi wa sharrih. So you will find the signs of iman inside of this individual, such as the believer. So he shows restraint. The believer is honest. The believer is upright. The believer is one who he fulfills his oaths. The believer is one who he fulfills his contracts. The believer is one who he is trustworthy. He is not treacherous. The believer is one who he is truthful. He is not a liar. The believer is one who he is righteous. He is wholesome. He is not one who is lewd. He is not one who is lustful. He is not one who is foul. He is not one who is despicable. But he is good. He is good in his nature. Even with his faults, even with his sins, he is good. Because when he falls into a sin, when he falls into error, when he falls into that which is despicable, the believer, he is regretful. The believer, he has remorse. The believer, their eyes, they fill with tears due to what they had fallen into. The believer, he turns to Allah Azza wa Jal. The believer utilizes that sin as a motivation for him to increase in goodness. He utilizes that sin as a motivation for him to increase in closeness to Allah Azza wa Jal. So even in the wake of a sin, you find the believer is different from the disbeliever. So Allah Azza wa Jal, he says, أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا كَمَنْ كَانَ فَاسِقًا, is the one who believes similar to the one who is a disbelieving criminal? That disbelieving criminal, Imam Sa'di says, قَدْ خَرِبَ قَلْبُ, that one who his heart has been destroyed, his heart has been polluted, his heart has been twisted. تُعَطِّلُ مِنْ إِيمَانٍ, the one whose heart is deprived, it denies the faith, deprived from the faith, denier of the faith. فَلَمْ يَكُنْ فِيهِ, so you don't find inside of this type of individual what? وَازِعْ دِينِ, you don't find in him any type of religious restraint. He has no religious restraint. He drinks what he wants, he looks at what he wants, he touches what he wants, he eats what he wants, he does what he wants. He don't care if it is good, if it is bad, if it is wholesome, if it is filthy. He doesn't care. Such is the kafir. Such is the criminal disbeliever. He has no care. When he commits the sin, he rivals in it. When he commits the sin, he brags about it. When he commits the sin, he posts it and he lets it be seen for all of mankind to see. He has no shame. Such is the kafir. He is increased. He does a sin and he contemplates on the next sin he's going to do. He does a sin and he contemplates on how further he can take it. Such is the kafir. Such is the criminal. Imam Sa'di, he says that this individual, فأسرعت جوارحه بموجبات الجهل والظلم, that his limbs, they are quick to go to those things that are necessitated by ignorance and by oppression. So you find that they are quick to do ignorant things. They are quick to act in an ignorant manner. They are quick to act in an oppressive manner, oppressing of themselves and oppressing of others. Oppression of themselves by committing sins, by disobeying Allah, by not being compliant to Allah Azza wa Jal, from not believing properly in Allah, from worshipping others along with and besides Allah, so on and so forth. They oppress themselves. And they have no care in the world to oppress others. Steal from this one, rob from that one, cheat this one, oppress that one, oppress this one. They don't care. And such is the disbeliever. وَمِن كُلِّ إِثَمٍ وَمَعْصِيَةٍ, they are quick to do all types of sins and all types of transgressions, all types of crimes. They don't care. وَخَرَجَ بِفِسْقِهِ عَنْ طَاعَةِ اللَّهِ, and he goes out due to his criminality. He goes away from the obedience of Allah Azza wa Jal. He goes away from the obedience of Allah Azza wa Jal. فَهَلْ يَسْتَوِي هَذَانِ شَخْصَانِ, so are these two types the same? هَلْ يَسْتَوِي هَذَانِ الشَّخْصَانِ, are these two types of individuals equal? Are they the same? No, they are not. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says, لَا يَسْتَوُونَ, they are not equal. They are not the same. عَقْلًا وَشَرْعًا, they are not the same intellectually, they are not the same legislatively. In the Sharia, they're not the same. But likewise, intellectually, the minds will not accept that they are the same. They are not the same. And it is important that we understand this, because this is the essence of the da'wah of the kuffar of today right now. They want to put everybody the same. They don't want to make no differentiation between the one who's wholesome, between the one who's righteous, between the one who believes and the one who disbelieves, between the one who is upon tawheed and the one who's upon shirk, between the one who worships Allah, the creator, and the one who worships the creation. They will tell you, nah, they're all the same. We all the same in humanity. There's no distinction. Let us all come together. We are the same. Don't talk about the differences. Only talk about what's the same. We are the same. We are not the same. Allah Ta'ala says, La yastawun, they're not the same. Because they're not the same. They're not the same. Allah Azza wa Jal, He does not deal with the believer like He deals with the disbeliever. They're not the same. The intellect, it will never accept this fact. Legislatively, we know this is not the fact. كَمَا لَا يَسْتَوِي اللَّيْلُ وَالنَّهَارُ, just like the nighttime is not the same as the daytime. وَالضِّيَاءُ وَالظُّلْمَةُ, just like light is not the same as darkness. وَكَذَلِكَ لَا يَسْتَوِي ثَوَابَهُمَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ, and likewise in the akhirah, their reward won't be the same. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, أَفَنَجْعَلِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ كَالْمُجْرِمِينَ, shall we treat those who believe, shall we treat the Muslims like we treat the disbelieving criminals? Those who live their lives compliant, submitting themselves unto Allah Azza wa Jal, should they be treated in the hereafter the same way that the kafir was treated? The same way the kafir is going to be treated. That kafir who lived his life not obeying Allah, that kafir who lived his life, he did not pray, did not fast Ramadan, did not make hajj, did not give charity, did not believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. So should they be rewarded the same in the akhirah? Should they receive the same thing in the akhirah? Allah Ta'ala says, and shall we make the believer and treat the believer, treat the Muslim like we treat the criminal? مَا لَكُمْ كَيْفَ تَحْكُمُونَ, what's wrong with you? How do you judge? How can they be treated the same? How is that possible? This one did work for Allah Azza wa Jal, he's going to be rewarded. That one did not do work for Allah Azza wa Jal. That one disbelieved in Allah Azza wa Jal. How in the world will he be rewarded? How in the world will he be in the same place as the believer? La yastawun, they're not the same. They're not the same. So it is incumbent that we understand this reality, no matter what they try to say, no matter what they try to teach, no matter what they try to preach, no matter what propaganda they come with, we are not the same. And it's important that we realize that, so that we thank Allah Azza wa Jal for guiding us to Islam and for saving us to that kufr, and so that we are true agents for the welfare of humanity by calling those who are not upon the guidance of Islam to Islam, so that they too may benefit, so that they too may be afforded the opportunity to go to Jannah and to escape the punishment, so that they too will benefit in this life and in the hereafter. So it is not from what it means to be a good human being to make the polytheist think he is the same as the monotheist. This is not from being good to our fellow humans. So we have to call them to that which is correct, so that they may benefit in this life and in the next, because as Allah Ta'ala has informed us, they're not the same, and they won't be treated the same, and they will not receive the same in the hereafter. هذا أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولجميع المسلمين فاستغفروه فإنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. يا عباد الله, Allah Azza wa Jal, He goes on to show us the stark contrast between the believer and between the disbeliever. There's a big difference between them. Allah Ta'ala, He says, أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا كَمَنْ كَانَ فَاسِقًا لَا يَسْتَوُونَ. And are they, is the believer the same as the disbelieving criminal? They're not the same. As far as the believer, أَمَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, as far as relates to those who believe and they do righteous good deeds, فَلَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ, then they will have gardens. They will have gardens under which rivers flow. They will have gardens. Those who have done righteous good deeds, مِنْ فُرُوضٍ وَالنَّوَافِلِ, from the obligatory righteousness and from the voluntary righteousness. فَلَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ الْمَأْوَى, then they will have Jannah. They will have gardens. That will be their abode. They will have gardens. Those gardens which are mahal al-afrah, the abodes of happiness and of joy. The abodes of happiness and the abode of joy. Na'im al-qulub, the place where the hearts are tranquil, they are in bliss. Wal-nufus wal-arwah, the place where the hearts are in bliss, the souls are in bliss, the self is in bliss, and the souls, everything is in bliss, happiness, joy. Mahal al-khulud, the place where they shall remain therein, in a happiness that won't end, in a joy that won't end, in a bliss that won't end, it won't cease, it won't sever. وَجَوَارِ الْمَلِكِ الْمَعْبُودِ, and they will be near unto the king, the one who is worshipped, Allah Azza wa Jal. تَمَتَّعْ بِقُرْبِهِ, they will find pleasure in being near unto Allah Azza wa Jal. وَالنَّظَرْ إِلَى وَجْهِهِ, and from looking at the face of Allah Azza wa Jal. وَالسِّمَاعَ خِطَابِهِ, and from listening unto His address. نُزُلًا, entertainment لَهُمْ, for them. A ضِيَافَةً, that they will be honored guests. They will be treated as honored guests. Why? Why is this? بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, because of what they used to do. Because of what they used to do when they were alive in the dunya. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us to Islam, because where are we right now? We are alive in the dunya. So this now is our opportunity to put forward some righteousness, to put forward some good deeds, so that we can be of these ones who are in these jannat, those who are receiving the entertainment of that which is in Jannah, from the bliss of the Jannah, the bounties and the gifts of the Jannah, be due to what they used to do, from righteousness, from being obedient unto Allah Azza wa Jal, from the abandonment of sin and transgression, from repenting unto Allah Azza wa Jal when they fell into sin and transgression. Allah Azza wa Jal, on the flip side, He tells us about the kuffar. We heard what the believers they will receive. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ فَسَقُوا, but as relates to those who they are criminals, the criminal disbelievers, فَمَأْوَاهُمُ النَّارِ, then their abode will be the fire. Their abode will be the fire. That will be their place. وَمَحَلُّ الْخُلُودِهِمْ, that will be the place that they will be forever. النَّارِ الَّتِي جُمِعَتْ كُلُّ عَذَابِ وَشِقَاء, the fire in which it brings together everything from punishment, all types of punishment, all types of misery. They'll put all of it is in the fire. All the misery is there for them. All the types of punishment is there for them. They'll be punished from directions in which you can't imagine. مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ, from directions in which you don't understand, you don't know. They'll be punished with a severe punishment. There'll be no escape from them. The punishment that will be so much for them and so grievous upon them that they will try to run from it. Allah Ta'ala says, كُلَّمَا أَرَادُوا أَن يَخْرُجُوا مِنْهَا أُعِيدُوا فِيهَا, every time they try to escape it, they'll be thrown back into it. Every time they try to run away from it, they'll be thrown back into it, because the adhab is perpetual. It will not cease. It will not stop. There will be no pause. There will be no break. It will be continuous. And not just it will be continuous, not just there will be no pause, not just it will be no break, but Allah Azza wa Jalla tells us in the Qur'an, as Allah Azza wa Jalla addresses those kuffar, and some of the Mufassirun, they say that this was from the most harshest of ayat revealed upon the kuffar, and that is Allah Ta'ala's statement, فَذُوقُوا فَلَن نَزِيدَكُمْ إِلَّا عَذَابًا, and taste you all now the punishment, and you will not be increased in anything except for punishment. So Allah Azza wa Jalla tells us here in this ayah that not only will the punishment be continuous, not only will the punishment, it won't stop, it won't cease, it won't pause, but the punishment will keep getting worse. It will keep getting worse. It will keep getting worse. Allah Ta'ala says, فَلَن نَزِيدَكُمْ إِلَّا عَذَابًا, and we will not increase you in anything except for punishment. So therefore, they're going to try to run. Therefore, they're going to try to get away. But every time they try to run because they can't take it, they get thrown back into it. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He tells us in His noble book, هَذِهِ النَّارِ الَّتِي كُنْتُمْ بِهَا تُكَذِّبُونَ, this is the fire in which you used to belie it. As Allah Azza wa Jalla says here in the last portion of this ayah, الَّذِي كُنْتُمْ بِهِ تُكَذِّبُونَ, this is the fire that you used to deny, say it didn't exist, it wasn't real, there was no such thing as hell, so on and so forth. Then you have other ones. You have other ones from mankind who they try to hasten it. That fire in which they used to call for, that fire in which they just say, let it come right now. As you know, the arrogance of the kuffar, what they be saying. Well, I don't mind going to hell. That's the case. Let it happen right now. Let it happen faster. What you say the truth, let the sky fall, let me go to hell now. So on and so forth. This is what they say out of their arrogance. But what is the reality? Allah Azza wa Jalla, out of all that denial, out of all that belial, and so on and so forth, what is it? Allah Azza wa Jalla says, when they be touched by this fire, when they will be punished by this fire, Yawmul Qiyamah, it will be said unto them, أَفَسِحْرٌ هَذَا أَمْ أَنْتُمْ لَا تُبْصِرُونَ, is this magic or you don't see it right now? You see, you denied it in the dunya, in the world of this life, you denied it. No, it's not going to happen, so on and so forth. Now that it's touching you, is this magic now? Or are you not seeing it? اصلوها واصبروا أو لا تصبروا سواء عليكم. Allah Ta'ala, He says, so now you enter into the fire. Be patient or don't be patient. It's all the same thing for you. Be patient or don't be patient, it's all the same thing for you. Because what we understand from this, be patient or don't be patient. Why? Because they can't be patient. So even if they attempted, thought, tried, think that there will be some possibility that they'll be able to be patient upon it, they will not be patient. Every time they try to get out, they get thrown back in. Why? They're not going to be able to be patient upon it. It's not going to happen. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, إِنَّمَا تَجْزَوْنَا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, rather you're only receiving now the end result. You're only being recompensed because of what you used to do. This is what they get due to their treachery, due to their disbelief, due to the atrocities that they committed by worshipping others along with Allah Azza wa Jal. So they will be pushed back into the fire. Imam al-Sa'di, he says that when they get pushed back into the fire, فَذَهَبَ عَنْهُمْ رُوحَ ذَلِكَ, they'll be pushed back into the fire, and it will leave from them any hope of a way out, any hope for success. Any hope for success is cut off from them. There is no faraj for them. There is no success for them. It is cut off. No hope for them. وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ ذُوقُوا, and it will be said unto them, taste you all now, عَذَابِ النَّارِ, the punishment of the fire. الَّذِي كُنْتُمْ بِهِ تُكَذِّبُونَ, that punishment, taste you now the punishment of the fire on which you used to belie. It is incumbent that we reflect upon the outcome, because if you look at these ayat, Allah Azza wa Jal, He tells the believers that they will receive what they receive because of what they used to do. The kuffar, they're going to get what they got because of what they used to do, because of what they used to deny, because of what they used to belie. We have to think about the consequences, not just here in this dunya, but the ultimate consequences. So when we move and when we do things inside of this dunya, inside of this life, inside of this world, we have to think about what are the consequences. What's going to be the ultimate abode? Is this action from the actions of those who would be in the Jannah, or is this action from the actions of those who would be in the fire? We have to think about the ultimate consequences, because these are the stakes. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those يستمعون قولا فيتبعون أحسنه وأن يجعلنا مباركا حيثما كنا وأن يجعلنا ممن إذا أعطي شكر وإذا ابتلي صبر وإذا أذنب استغفر فإن هؤلاء ثلاثة عنوان السعادة. هذا فأقيموا الصلاة.